All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to be using oil pastels to add color to this drawing. And one of the things that's great about oil pastels is that even though they're shaped like a crayon, as you can see, they act a little bit differently. First of all, they're very, very bright colors, and it's very easy to color thick color. And what I mean by that is that when you color with crayons and you press hard, you get a much thicker layer of the color. Well, with oil pastels, you don't have to press quite as hard. It's much easier to lay down more of the actual color. Another thing that's neat about them is that in a way they're a lot like coloring with paint, because you can layer them, but you can also put one color on top of another, and by pressing hard they'll sort of mix. Now, one thing that you have to be careful of is that you'll see that these little crumbs that come off of the oil pastel, if I were to wipe them like this, they might smear, so to be kind of careful about that. But one thing that's easy is that it's really easy to cover up mistakes. So if you make a mistake, you can cover it up just like you would if you had paint. So that's another way that oil pastels are like paint. So all I'm doing here is I'm laying down some colors right now to show you how you can color in quite easily and make lots of really good smooth textures with these oil pastels. Now let's talk about layering. Let's say this silver UFO right here, I wanted to put a little bit of blue there. I can get my blue and I can come on top of it and I can lay some highlights down, little shiny parts. Maybe I want the UFO to have maybe some red lights on it. I can do that. So I can layer colors. Now let's go down to the main attraction of our drawing, and that is our screamer's face. I'm going to add a lot of colors here, because if you remember the Scream by Edvard Munch, when he painted the screamer's face, he put lots of colors in there, and each one of the colors sort of emphasized the scream that really kind of was the face of the screamer. So I'm going to come in here. Oil pastels also like to mix in with the graphite of your drawing. And don't worry about that, because I can redraw my beard. Now let's say I want to have some orange highlights in here. These little lines that we drew, we can go over them and make them stand out. And this is also part of Expressionism, is using lots of bright, vivid colors. So what Expressionists tried to do was to emphasize the moods and the feelings that they wanted to convey with the bright colors that they used. Maybe I want some blue in here, some of this dark blue around the eyes. Now, what's really cool about oil pastels, one of my favorite things about it is you can color with white. So they give you a white crayon in the crayon box, but it doesn't really work so good. But if you have a white oil pastel, it works great. So you can add white highlights to things. You can mix colors with white. And the black also is awesome. Really looks black. So it's great for outlining. So all those lines in here. So play with it a little bit while you're coloring. Play with it a little bit. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop this video, because the rest of this is just really deciding what colors that we want. We can look at Edvard Munch's The Scream to get ideas, and just continue the process of coloring. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop this part of the video, and then I'm going to do a time lapse just to speed things up. All right, so I've got my drawing pretty much colored in the way that I like it, but one last thing that I want to talk about is how you can take a pencil, and just like we talked about a while ago, how you can draw on top of crayons, you can go back in with your pencil, and even better than on top of crayon, you can draw on top of oil pastel. And what's great about this is, if you have some areas in here where maybe the oil pastel kind of washed out your outlines, and you want to go back and fix that, you can go in with your pencil, and the pencil will really spread over the top of that oil pastel nicely. It almost kind of melts like butter right into it. It's very cool how it works. So the last step of your drawing then will be to go through with your pencil and just sort of bring out anything that the oil pastel might have lost. You can even go into like the lake back here and add some more lines of texture. Obviously I'm trying to emphasize these lines of where the tractor beam from the alien ship is coming down. So I'm going over the edges of them, pencil. You can add some lines in the mountains, the sky, more pencil lines. All right, so keep working on it till it's great. All right.